students, welcome to the English class. I hope you all are well at your home. So let us discuss today the second part of the 100 dresses. Okay, so first of all let us see the theme so that the theme will be revised, because first part we have already read. So the theme of this lesson is the judgmental attitude and discrimination done by the people around us. Okay, and judgmental discrimination done by the people around us, and judgmental attitude means people just make a stereotype that what sort of person that is by looking towards the outward appearance of that particular person. So this is just that, and the story gives us the message that we should not make a perception of a person by looking him outwardly. We should just try to search the inward qualities of that particular person also. Okay, so let us revise the first part first of all, so that the second part can be reconnected with that. So in the first part there is a girl named Vanda Petronsky. She was a Polish girl, Polish American girl, we all know. And she had taken admission in an American school. Okay, so she was a stranger in that particular school because all American students were there. Okay, so American students were there. So she just remained very quiet, or she used to sit at the back side of the window in the corner of the room. So there are two girls, Peggy and Madeline. Peggy and Madeline. So these are the two girls. These are American girls basically, and the classmates of Vanda Petronsky. So Peggy was the rich one and Maddie was the poor one, but she was comparatively rich than Vanda. Means she belonged to the middle class family, we can say. So Peggy was the most popular girl in the family, in the class even. Okay, and she was beautiful too. Maddie, her short name, Madeline's short name is Maddie. She is the very closest friend of Peggy. Both of them remain together, lives together in the school time. They all can be found together everywhere. So Peggy started playing prank with Vanda because due to her strange name, because they have never heard such sort of names. So Vanda Petronsky, when they heard the name of this girl, they just began to make fun of her. Okay, then Peggy just asked her, because this girl comes from a very poor family and she used to live at Morgan Heights. Okay, so she used to live at Morgan Heights, and she comes, which is considered a place where poor people used to live. Okay, so Vanda Petronsky is a poor girl and she used to wear a blue dress. A blue dress which was not at all ironed. Okay, but it was washed, it was very clean. But it was not fit for Vanda also. Okay, then Peggy asked her that how many dresses you are having. So this girl Vanda just responded that she is having 100 dresses, or even she described the pattern of the dresses also, that she is having forest green dress. This we all have read in the first part. Okay, then but Maddie, she remained quiet whenever Peggy just make fun of Vanda, because she thinks that she too is very poor, or if what happened if Peggy's concentration will divert towards Maddie, then she may make fun of her also. She may ask her also that how many dresses you are having in your closet. So therefore she always remain quiet, and if from inward she also want that Peggy should not make fun of Vanda, because she can also be targeted by her and other girls of the class. Okay, then let us see what happened next. One more incident, students, I just wanted to tell here that there was a drawing competition conducted in their class. Their class number was room number 13, and the two topics were given for the drawing. For boys, the drawing of motor boat was there, that was the topic, and for the girls they have to design the dresses. Okay, so in short, I just want to conclude by saying that in the boys, Jack Bagels became the winner, and in the girls, everyone was expecting that Peggy will be the winner because she can draw very beautifully, or she can draw any of the sketch by looking towards it. But who became the winner? Venda. And she had drawn 100 dresses, and the description which she used to give to Peggy and Maddie, so all that description can be seen in her drawings. Okay, so she became the winner and she got the medal from the girls side. Okay, so but Venda was absent for last 3-4 days. She was not coming continuously. So then what happened next? Let us see. When every student just get to know the inner quality of Venda, that she is quite talented. She is a very good painter. She can draw sketches very well. Okay. Now everyone wants to be friend with her. Okay. So let us see what happened next. So let us discuss the lesson 100 Dresses Part 2. It is written by A.L. Busser, Esther. While the class was circling the room, the monitor from the principal's office brought Miss Mason a note. Miss Mason read it several times and studied it thoroughly for a while. Then she clapped her hands. Means while everyone in the class was looking towards the beautiful sketches of dresses made by Vanda, then the monitor of the class brought a note for the teacher, Miss Mason, and the teacher read it many times and very carefully and clapped her hand to make the class silent. As attention class, everyone back to their seat. When the shuffling of feet had stopped and the room was still and quiet, Miss Mason said, "I have a letter from Vanda's father that I want to read to you." So Miss Mason just addressed the students and asked them to have their seats. And when every student sat on their seat, she just said that she had received a letter from Vanda's father and she just wanted to share what he has written with the student. Miss Mason stood there a moment and the silence in the room grew tense and expectant. The teacher adjusted her glasses slowly and deliberately. So everyone becomes curious that what is written in that letter, and as we all know that Vanda was not coming for several days. So Miss Mason's face was quite serious. She just adjusted her glass and tried to say something. Her manner indicated that what was coming. This letter from Vanda's father was a matter of great importance. Everybody listened closely as Miss Mason read the brief note. When Miss Mason addressed the student and tried to share the letter with the students, then everyone got understood that something very important her father has written, and the teacher started reading out the letter and everybody listened to her very carefully. Let us see the letter. Dear teacher, my Vanda will not come to your school anymore. Jack also. Now we move away to a big city. No more Holler Pollock. No more ask wife funny name. So the father of Vanda had written that they are shifting to a big city, and there in the big city many funny names are there, therefore no one will ask Vanda that why she is having such a funny name. Okay, so no shouting, no teasing will be there. So plenty of funny names in the big city. Yours truly, Jan Petronsky. Jan Petronsky is the name of Vanda's father, and he has written that there are many funny names in the cities. Therefore, no one takes notice that Vanda is having a funny name. Then a deep silence met the reading of this letter. Miss Mason took off her glasses, blew on them, and wiped them on her soft white handkerchief. Then everyone was silent in the class. Miss Mason just took off her glass and began to clean them with her white handkerchief. Then she just put them on again and looked at the class. When she spoke, her voice was very low. Miss Mason was quite serious at that time, and therefore her voice was quite low, and she again wore her glasses after cleaning them. I'm sure that no one of the boys and girls in room 13 would purposely and deliberately hurt anyone's feelings because his or her name happened to be a long, unfamiliar one. So Miss Mason just addressed the students and again said that she is quite sure that no student has tried to hurt the feelings of Vanda. Of course, her name was quite a strange one, and they are quite long. What was Vanda's name? Vanda Petronsky, we all know. So it was quite long and a strange name. I prefer to think that what was said in thoughtlessness. So the teacher clarified that you all are children, and whatever you have done without thinking anything. Means your intention was quite pure. You were not in the intention to hurt somebody's feeling. I know that all of you feel the way I do. So Miss Mason said whatever she is feeling right now, all the students are also feeling the same thing. That this is very unfortunate thing to have happened. Unfortunate, and said. She said that whatever has happened was a very sad and unfortunate thing. Means no one was expecting this at the time when they just made pranks with Vanda. And I want you all to think about it. So the teacher just said that she also want that all the students must think that whatever they have done was wrong, whether it is intentionally or unintentionally. The first period was a study period. Maddie tried to prepare her lessons, but she could not put her mind on her work. She had a very sick feeling in the bottom of her heart. We all know since from the beginning, Maddie was not liking the pranks which Peggy was playing with Vanda, or whatever sort of questions Peggy used to ask from Vanda, she didn't like, or she wanted that Peggy should not ask such kind of questions. When she came to know about Vanda's school leaving, then she became very sad. In the first period she tried to concentrate towards her lesson, but she could not. Too, she had not enjoyed listening to Peggy ask Vanda how many dresses she had in her closet, but she had said nothing. She had stood by silently, and that was just as bad as what Peggy had done. Worse, she was a coward. Now Maddie was considering herself as coward, and she was just thinking that it is quite true that she hadn't said anything when Peggy tried to tease Vanda by asking her that how many dresses she is having in her closet. But on the other hand, she is thinking that if she hasn't said anything, she hadn't stopped Peggy by doing so, then also she is equally wrong. At least Peggy hadn't considered they were being mean, but Maddie, had thought they were doing wrong. She could put herself in Vanda's shoes. So here Maddie is just justifying Paddy that she didn't think that whatever they are doing is wrong, but Maddie had thought that whatever is done with Vanda is wrong, so she could oppose that. And also, if she could not stop Peggy, she could try to make Vanda understand that they didn't mean to hurt her feelings. Goodness, wasn't there anything she could do? If only she could tell Vanda she hadn't meant to hurt her feelings. She turned around and stole a glance at Peggy, but Peggy did not look up. When Maddie was thinking that she could even tell Vanda that they didn't want to hurt her feelings, so then she looked towards Peggy, but Peggy was busy in doing her work. She didn't look towards Maddie. She seemed to be studying hard. Well, whether Peggy felt badly or not, Maddie, had to do something. She had to find Vanda Petronsky. Maybe she had not yet moved away. So Maddie is thinking maybe Peggy is not thinking bad as Maddie is. So Maddie thought that she should find Vanda. Maybe they haven't left the city now. So she should go to meet Vanda. Maybe Peggy would climb the heights with her and they would tell Vanda she had won the contest, that they thought she was smart and the 100 dresses were beautiful. So Maddie thought maybe Peggy will also accompany her to the Boggins Heights and they will be able to tell Vanda that she has won the contest and she is the winner of the drawing competition, and they thought her dumb, but she is quite smart and she has drawn all 100 dresses very beautifully. When school was dismissed in the afternoon, Peggy said with pretended casualness, "Hey, let's go and see if that kid has left town or not." So when school was over, then Peggy asked Maddie that let us go to Boggins Heights. Maybe Vanda hasn't left the town yet. So Peggy had the same idea. Maddie glowed. Peg was really alright. So Peggy and Maddie's thoughts were matching. Both of them want to go to meet Vanda and stop her from leaving the city. Okay, so Maddie is saying that Peggy was right. So Peg is the short form of Peggy. The two girls hurried out of the building up the street toward Boggins Heights, the part of town that wore such a forbidding air on this kind of a November afternoon, drizzling, damp and dismal. So when both the girls moved towards the Boggins Heights, they just hurriedly stepped down from the school building. They moved towards Boggins Heights, and that was the part, Boggins Heights was the part where very uneven, unfriendly buildings were there. The air was not so much clear. Light drizzling was there in the month of November, and it seems as if the climate too is very sad at that time. Well, at least, said Peggy gruffly, I never did call her a foreigner or make fun of her name. I never thought she had the sense to know we were making fun of her anyway. So Peggy tried to justify herself by saying that she had never called her foreigner because she was a Polish American girl. So she just said that she never called her foreigner and she had never made fun of her name. So Peggy said that she didn't think that she is hurt by her comments. I thought she was too dumb and gee, look how she can draw. So Peggy said that she had made the impression of her as she is a dumb girl, but she is a very talented girl. She can draw beautifully. Maddie could say nothing All she hoped was that they would find Vanda. She wanted to tell her that they were sorry they had picked on her and how wonderful the whole school thought she was, and please not to move away and everybody would be nice. So Maddie didn't pay attention towards Peggy's remarks, whatever she made. She just wanted that Vanda should meet them at her house, or she wanted to convey her that they are feeling sorry whatever they did with her, and she just wanted to convey that whole school, means all the students of her class are praising her, and everybody will behave nicely with her, and they all will treat her as their friend. She and Peggy would fight anybody who was not nice. The two girls hurried on. They hoped to get to the top of the hill before dark. So both the girls moved very fast. They want to reach at the house of Vanda before the dark, and they just want to convey her that if anybody will not behave nicely with her, they will fight with that student. I think that's where the Petronskis live, said Maddie, pointing to a little white house. Wisps of old grass stuck up there, here and there, along the pathway like thin kittens. So there was a little white house, and towards Maddie pointed and said, maybe this is the house of Vanda. The house and its sparse little yard looked shabby but clean. It reminded Maddie of Vanda's one dress, her faded blue cotton dress, shabby but clean. We all know that Vanda used to wear a blue dress which was faded and which was shabby, but it was clean. So in the same manner, Vanda's house too was quite clean, but it was also shabby, means in a poor condition. There was not a sign of life about the house. Peggy knocked firmly on the door, but there was no answer. Means it appears that no one was there. Peggy knocked the main door, but no response had came. She and Maddie went around to the backyard and knocked there. Still there was no answer. So then both the girls moved towards the back gate, and they knocked that gate also, but no answer came out. There was no doubt about it. The Petronskis were gone. How could they even make amends? Now they all have, both of them understood that Petronskis means Vanda with her family have left the city. Now both the girls were thinking that how they will correct their mistake. Their mistake of teasing Vanda. They turned slowly and make their way back down the hill. They just moved back and came down from the hill and moved towards their house. Well, anyway, said Peggy, she is gone now, so what can we do? So Peggy was carefree girl, so she just said that Vanda has left and they couldn't do anything. So she just tried to make that understand Maddie also. Besides, when I was asking her about all her dresses, she probably was getting good ideas for her drawing. She might not even have won the contest otherwise. Means Peggy just said that when Peggy used to ask her that how many dresses you are having in your closet. So she is saying that Vanda was having a clear idea of the dresses. Therefore, she could draw those dresses very beautifully. Otherwise, she could not win the contest. Maddie turned this idea carefully over in her head, for if there were anything in it, she would not have to feel so badly. But that night she could not get sleep. Maddie just tried to forget everything, but that night she became restless. She could not sleep. She thought about Vanda and her faded blue dress and the little house she had lived in, and she thought of the glowing picture those 100 dresses made, all lined up in the classroom. So in her mind many things were going on. What were those things? Vanda, her faded blue dress, her little house, and all those pictures which she has drawn in the context, they all were decorated in the class in a single line. At last, Maddie sat up in bed and pressed her forehead tight in her hands and really thought. That was the hardest thinking she had ever done. After a long time, she reached an important conclusion. So, Maddie just sat on her bed, get up and sat on her bed and just put her hand on the forehead and started thinking. And she just make a decision that night. She was never going to stand by and say nothing again. So she just said ki she will never sit or stand again by the wrong things, just as in the past she has done. She was standing along with Peggy. If she ever heard anybody picking on someone because they were funny looking or because they had strange names, she would speak up, even if it meant losing Peggy's friendship also. So she just take the decision that in future if she notice that anybody is teasing someone or making fun of anybody's appearance or because of his strange name, she will speak against that, or if that will result of losing Peggy's friendship also, means she is ready to leave that friend also. She had no way of making things right with Vanda, but from now on she would never make anybody else that unhappy again. Means Maddie had understood that she cannot show her regret, apologize in front of Vanda, but she will not repeat that mistake again. On Saturday, Maddie spent the afternoon with Peggy. They were writing a letter to Vanda Petronsky. Both the girls here, students, wrote a letter to Vanda. Let us see what they wrote in that. It was just a friendly letter telling about the contest and telling Vanda she had won. They told her how pretty her drawings were. So both the girls did not write anything regarding their apology. They just informed her that she has won the contest, and they all praised her drawings in that letter. And they asked her if she liked where she was living and if she liked her new teacher. So as usual, as the students discuss with each other, they also asked Vanda whether she liked the new teacher, new students of her class because she has left that city, and the place where she is living, whether she has adjusted herself there or not. They had meant to say they were sorry, but it ended up with their just writing a friendly letter, the kind they would have written to any good friend, and they signed it with lots of X's for love. Okay, so they just had written that letter to make the apology, but they just wrote the letter in a very friendly manner as if Vanda is their friend, and in the end they just write lots of love. They mailed the letter to Boggins Heights, writing please forward on the envelope. Then they write the address Boggins Heights and also write please forward it, means wherever they have gone, please forward this letter there. Days passed and there was no answer, but the letter did not come back, so maybe Vanda had received it. So many days had passed and they didn't get any reply from Vanda's side. So they thought maybe Vanda hadn't got the letter, or maybe Vanda is angry with them, therefore she is not writing any reply to them. Perhaps she was so hurt and angry she was not going to answer. You could not blame her. So both the girls thought that maybe she is angry, and therefore they cannot blame Vanda because they have done wrong to her. Weeks went by and still Vanda did not answer. Peggy had begun to forget the whole business, and Maddie put herself to sleep at night, making speeches about Wanda, defending her from great coward of girls who were trying to tease her with how many dresses have you got. So Peggy forget all the things because days passed. She just forget Vanda also, but Maddie could not forget anything. In her dreams also, she just tried to save Vanda from those girls who continuously ask her that how many dresses you are having. And before Vanda could press her lips together in a tight line the way she did before answering, Maddie could cry out stop. Then everybody would feel ashamed the way she used to feel. So, before in her dream, when Vanda is about to answer, then Maddie stop everybody by shouting at them, and everybody just feel the same thing as Maddie used to feel in the past, that whatever they are doing is wrong. Now it was Christmas time and there was snow on the ground. Christmas bells and a small tree decorated the classroom. So it was Christmas time and Christmas preparations were going on. So the classrooms were also decorated. On the last day of school before the holidays, the teacher showed the class a letter she had received that morning. So we all know that winter breaks used to come in the schools, and before the holidays on the last day, Miss Mason, the teacher of the students, showed them a letter which she has received in the morning. You remember Vanda Petronsky, the gifted little artist who won the drawing contest? Well, she has written me and I am glad to know where she lives because now I can send her medal. I want to read her letter to you. So the teacher addresses the students and try to remind those students about Vanda and told them that she is very happy that she has come to know about the Vanda's address where she is living now, so that she can send her medal to her as she has won the drawing contest. So her medal they could not send to her because they just know that she has left the city now, but they have come to know that where Vanda is living, so they can easily send that medal to her. The class sat up with a sudden interest and listened intently. So earlier when Miss Mason read the letter in which that was written that Vanda is leaving the city, everyone was silent, but this time when students heard about Vanda's letter, they all just became interested and know that what she has written in this letter. Dear Miss Mason, how are you? And room 13. Please tell the girls they can keep those 100 dresses because in my new house I have 100 new ones all lined up in my closet. So in the letter Vanda had written that she can have all those dresses again because she can draw them in her new house also, and she has asked Miss Mason to give those dresses as a gift to the girls Maggie and Paddy, and also asked about the well-being of the classmates as well as the teacher. I would like that girl Peggy to have the drawing of the green dress with the red trimmings and her friend Maddie to have the blue one. So she just gifted the green dress with red trimmings to Peggy and the blue dress to Maddie. For Christmas, I miss that school and my new teacher does not equalize with you. Merry Christmas to you and everybody. Yours truly, Vanda Petronsky. So, Vanda said that I am missing this Christmas my all the friends, means Peggy and Maddie, and here the teacher is not as loving as Miss Mason, and in the end she just wished Merry Christmas to everybody. On the way from home, Maddie and Peggy held their drawings very carefully. All the houses had wreaths and holly in the windows. So both the girls took those dresses, those drawings which Vanda had given them, and very carefully they have handed them, and all the houses were decorated, as we all know that was the Christmas time. Outside the grocery store, hundreds of Christmas trees were stacked, and in the window, candy peppermint sticks and cornucopias of shiny transparent paper was strung. So outside the shops, grocery store, all the things related to Christmas celebration were hanging. The air smelled like Christmas, and light shining everywhere reflected different colors on the snow. So, in the air, also, that celebration feeling was there. Boys, said Peggy, this shows she really likes us. It shows she got our letter, and this is her way of saying that everything's alright, and that's that. So, Peggy said that it proves that that girl, means Vanda, likes both the girls, Peggy and Maddie, and it means that she has received the letter written by these two girls, and it means that Peggy and Maddie are happy by thinking that Vanda doesn't have any ill feeling regarding these girls. I hope so, said Maddie sadly. She felt sad because she knew she would never see the little tight-lipped Polish girl again, and couldn't ever really make things right between them. So Maddie just said, yes, I also hope so, but in her heart she knew that she could never amend her mistake, because she could never meet Vanda again and say sorry to her. She went home and she pinned her drawing over a torn place in the pink flowered wallpaper in the bedroom. The shabby room came alive from the brilliancy of colors. So Maddie just hang that drawing on her house's wall, and due to that drawing, that bedroom was shining. Maddie sat down on her bed and looked at the drawing. She has stood by and said nothing, but Vanda had been nice to her anyway. So Maddie was continuously looking towards that drawing which she had hung on her bedroom wall, and she just thought that Vanda is very nice with her and Peggy. Tears blurred her eyes, and she gazed for a long time at the picture. Then hastily she rubbed her eyes and studied it intently. So tears came in Maddie's eyes while looking towards that picture of that beautiful dress, and she just wiped her tears and again began to look towards that picture intently. The colors in the dress were so vivid that she had scarcely noticed the face and head of the drawing, but it looked like her Maddie. So the colors were beautifully used by Vanda in that drawing, and Maddie did not notice that it is just a drawing. It was appearing as if Maddie herself have worn the dress. It really looked like her own mouth. Why it really looked like her own self? Vanda had really drawn this for her. Excitedly, she ran over to Peggy's peg. She said, let me see your picture. So when she intently, very carefully looked towards that dress, and Maggie just imagined that as if she herself has worn that dress, and she just ran towards Peggy, because Vanda had imagined those girls while drawing these dresses, and it looks as if these dresses are made for them especially. What's the matter? Asked Peggy as they clattered up to her room, where Vanda's drawing was lying face down on the bed. Maddie carefully raised it. So Maddie just go along with Peggy in her bedroom, where Peggy had kept that drawing on her bed. So Maddie just turned that drawing to see the picture of the dress. "Look, she drew you. That's you," she exclaimed, and the head and face of this picture did look like Peggy. So she just carefully tried to uh, ask Peggy that, "You just see that Vanda has drawn you with this dress. Look carefully." "What did I say?" said Peggy. "She must have really liked us anyway." So Peggy just said that maybe this girl Vanda liked them very very much, and therefore she had drawn these dresses for both of them. "Yes, she must have," agreed Maddie, and she blinked away the tears that came every time she thought of Vanda standing alone in that sunny spot in the schoolyard, looking stolidly over at the group of laughing girls after she had walked off, after she had said, "Sure, 100 of them all lined up." So here, Maddie just agree with Peggy's remark that Vanda liked them, and again tears rolled down in the eyes of Maddie, as previously when the girls used to tease Vanda. That time also she feels very bad, and she just control her feelings, and this time also she just control her feelings because she remembered Vanda, and she just want to say that she did not able to apologize in front of that nice girl. Now students, I think that you all have understood the concept of the lesson, that by fun or without any intention, many a times it happens with us also that we just hurt somebody's feelings. So we all should learn the lesson that we should think before speaking or delivering anything to any person. Okay, and we should not judge people from their outward appearance. We should try to search the inner qualities of that particular person. Then only we should make the feeling or some kind of perception regarding that particular person. Okay, thank you.